All right, guys, Wednesday, January 13th. We are going to repeat that gymnastics sequence we did last Thursday with the handstand push ups and the pull ups. Got some good feedback about it, and let's go through it first, and then we'll talk about it. So it's going to be a 60-minute EMOM. You guys are going to alternate between these two sequences. So in 1 minute, it's going to be 2 strict handstand push-ups followed by 4 kipping handstand push-ups. In the second minute or interval, it's going to be 2 strict pull-ups followed by 4 kipping chest-to-bar pull-ups. Okay. Now, it is a lot of volume. I believe my math is correct. It's 48 reps per movement, not including which ones are strict and kipping. So that is quite a bit added up together and individually. And the reason this is set this way is it gives anybody the ability who has the volume a chance to do it. And it also gives anybody the ability to come in and continue to build or practice. So for example, you've got the written volume, which again was 48 per movement. And then you've also got let's go to like the complete opposite end of the spectrum. Let's say you just figured out how to do kipping handstand push-ups. Volume capacity is pretty low still. And then maybe the same thing for pull-ups. That's totally fine, okay? So the way you have to look at this is, let's say I'm doing 1 kipping handstand push-up in the first interval, and then I'm doing maybe, let's say, like 2 kipping chest-to-bar pull-ups in the second interval. That's significantly less volume that's written, but you're still building to the goal that's whatever your goal is. Maybe it's what's written. Maybe it's a little bit more than what I mentioned, the 1 and 2. The point being, you're getting that practice in, you're building that skill set, and you're going to keep getting more comfortable with the movement. You're going to keep getting better at it, and that's what these days are for. This isn't really to compare yourself to anybody else. This is just to gauge your own progress, okay? So if it doesn't look great on paper, if you've always been kind of shied away by something like this, I get it, okay? These are tough skills, but you have to practice them. The question's always asked, how do I get better at rope climbs? How do I get better at pull-ups? How do I get better at push-ups? I mean, to be honest, once we learn them, we have to build that skill both through or build that movement both through practicing the skill and applying that skill, and then also developing it through volume, okay, and increasing our capacity. So that's what we're doing today. Don't feel discouraged. If you come in and you're not, doing the same thing as somebody else, that's totally fine. And we can always, find options off the wall or off the pull-up bar if it's something that, we want to practice. So that'll be part 1. Part 2, relatively quick one, but still tough. So it's 21-15-9 reps per time, shoulder to overhead at 135 for the guys, 93 for the ladies, and then we have toes to bar, okay? So I would say the goal here is large capacity sets. So not gaming the 21 or the 15. If you really want to try a certain weight, try to hang on to it as long as you can. Being that it's shoulder to overhead, know that you can utilize a push press or a push jerk. Push press is going to be faster. The push jerk is going to be stronger. It could be a combination of the two. But again, try to hang on to the bar. And then the toes to bar. So we've got, after all the pull-ups, I know it's another gymnastic skill on the bar, so we can talk about the hands. But, coaches, we can discuss hand care, both pre, post, and also during this, and how to adjust how you're grabbing the bar during a workout. But that's probably something like in the 21, maybe 3 sets or less. The 15, probably the same. The 9, try to keep it to maybe like 2 sets or less, okay? One thing I'll briefly mention about both toes to bar and the kipping chest to bar pull-up. So one way you can relax your grip is there's a difference between, this would be a position of the wrist that I would grab a bar if I were to try and hang on for an extended period of time. So let's say we're doing a 1 minute hang from the bar. I would say grab the bar and hang on like this, okay? Because you're trying to relax and utilize your grip, okay? And the strength of your grip. If I'm doing a kipping movement or think like a barbell, the cue we use in a barbell is knuckles down. Now, if you take that knuckles down cue to hanging from a bar, we want to rotate the wrist over, or like we're revving maybe like at the throttle on like a motorcycle or something like that, okay? Now, the reason this is important is if we turn the knuckles down while hanging from the bar, we then can activate the lat. And the lat is what helps keep some of that tension when we're going to do like a toes to bar, when we're pulling on a toes to bar, or a pull-up in this case, or for both of them today. So If I'm over the bar like this, I'm going to have a better chance of relaxing some of the pressure on my grip and transferring some of that to my lat, okay? So think here to do a gymnastics exercise when I'm actually pulling, here to hang on or like when I'm deadlifting, okay? So less dynamic exercise, think deadlift and hang from a bar. More dynamic exercise, think snatch, clean, pull up, toes to bar. All right, have fun.